So I'm gonna be dropping the N bomb. So if anybody's offended by that, you can go fuck
Not at
yourself.
all.
All
Not at
right,
all.
so all right,
What if I could? What if I
all right.
could? Go
O.J.
ahead.
Simpson, right? One of the nicest men I ever met. He was nice to
Mm-hmm.
me. He was nice to my friends. The conversation was filled with warmth, levity, humor, and wisdom. We talked for 90 minutes, and then suddenly the Jew said, "You know what? I've got to be going. But it's good to see you again, and I'm glad things went so well." And I said, "Thanks, Juice." And he said, "No, thank you for your hospitality. Good night, guys." And we said good night. And he just walked out the room. And as soon as that door closed, we all looked at each other like, that nigga did that shit. Does anyone here remember that show, The Care Bears? You know, them little teddy bears? They'd lock
Yeah.
arms and stare at a problem.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm not even bullshitting. Like, actual love would shoot out of their chests. And it would dispel anything that was fucked up. And when we grew up, we wanted to be like those bears. And then we got our hearts broken because we found out that life wasn't going to let us do that. And it's impossible to shoot love out of your chest. However, I have shot love onto somebody else's chest.
God.
You know, I'm sure everyone here knows about the Bill Cosby thing, you know. There's one outspoken woman who just keeps on and on about Bill Cosby. You know, she doesn't know what it feels like to think that your hero might have done something so heinous. It would be as if you heard chocolate ice cream itself had raped 54 people. And you say to yourself, "Oh, but I like chocolate ice cream. I don't want it to rape."
Oh my god. That's
All right,
awesome.
some white kids came by my house throwing snowballs and shit. They broke one of my windows. It was horrific. So I did what any good citizen would do. I called the police. And the police came in and they were like, "Well, Mr. Chappelle, we ran the tags. 2 young men had their mother's car. We have all 4 suspects in holding, and their mother is here. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. If you want to press charges, we'll move ahead." And there was a long pause. It's like, "Mr. Chappelle, you okay?" I said, "Huh? Oh, sorry about that, officer. I'm a little flustered. I've never been in a position where I can decide the fate of white children before." You know, a lot of diseases are going around these days. You know, AIDS, West Nile, Ebola. You know, all manner of things kill white people. But you know what kills more black people than anything? More than police or terrorism? Salt, motherfucker. Regular ass table salt kills more of us than anyone else. You get it? Okay, whatever.
High blood pressure. High blood pressure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I kept getting these tapes delivered to my house. They would just be on the porch, random tapes. Porn tapes of me and my wife having sex. I was disgusted. 5 days later, I come home. There's another
Sure you
videotape on my front porch. As soon as I saw it, I called the police. They've done it again. You should probably look for a guy in bell bottoms because I don't know who the fuck's sending videotapes anymore. And this, the second tape was the worst shit I've ever seen in my life, though. It was awful. Career-ending bad. It was a tape of me jerking off to the tape from the week earlier. All right, this is going to be kind of a really long joke, so just bear with me. One thing I'm seeing, you'll be walking down the street and you'll see like a group of black dudes, and not just any old black dudes. We're talking, you know, thugs. You know, be some thugs, and in that group, they got like 1 or 2, sometimes maybe even 3 white people. You ever see that shit? Let me tell you something about those white guys. Those white guys are some of the most dangerous motherfuckers in them groups. No, it's true. It's true, man, because you ain't no telling what those motherfuckers did to get those black dudes respect. And, you know, and those black dudes, those black dudes had to have seen them do some wild shit. You know, I've been trying to tell brothers that every group of brothers should be having at least one white guy. I'm serious, for safety reasons. Because when shit goes down, somebody's going to need to talk to the police.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when,
Yeah.
that's when that white friend comes in handy. It's like, Ernie, you want to get this one? Oh, now, talk something. You know, black people, they're very afraid of the police. That's a big part of our culture. No matter how rich you are, how old you are, we're just afraid of them. We got every reason to be afraid of them. You know what I mean? You know,
Fuck yeah.
see a white lady get pulled over, you know, they're like, oh, let me see your driver's license registration, right? See? But you know, that's not what they say to us. You wouldn't believe what they say to us. They say, spread your cheeks, turn around and lift your sack. It's like, what the fuck? Like, excuse me? You heard me. Spread open your cheeks and lift your sack. It's like, hey man, I got a driver's license too. There's easier ways to prove who I am and shit. You know, what does that prove? Like, I can't go to the bank to cash a check and they say, oh, you don't have ID? Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Chappelle, right this way. All right, I'm going to need you to spread your cheeks and lift your sack. And I'm scared of them, man. I'm serious. You be at a red light and the police pulls up right next to you. You know, it might not be a big deal for you, but, you know, I fucking fall apart. I'm like, oh, shit, nigga. Don't look over there. Don't look over there. Don't look at them. They might not think I'm suspicious. But, you know, I always knew that was a black thing. It took me a while to figure it out. And I learned this shit when I was in New York. I was in New York City, and I was hanging out with a friend of mine. He's a white guy. You know, we're just hanging out, and we're lost in the city. You know, we were smoking a joint. And now, I don't know if it was a coincidence that we were lost and high and shit, but my white buddy, he was smoking a joint, and he goes, Dave, it's the goddamn cops, Dave. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm going to ask him for He's like, I'm going to ask him for directions. I'm like, Chip, don't do it. It was too late. He was already over there. This man was high as shit, touching this cop. Excuse me, sir, excuse me. And he's like, I need some information. And he starts confessing shit he shouldn't confess. He's like, I'm a little high. All I want to know is which way is 3rd Street. Cop's like, hey, take it easy. You're on 3rd Street. It's like, you better be careful. Go ahead, move it. That's all that happened. That's the end of the story.
Move along.
We were on 3rd Street the whole time. That's the point. Okay.
Move along. Nothing to see here.
That's how it is. But at the time, I didn't think there was anything racial about it. I was like, man, Chip, you got fucking lucky. You better be careful doing that. But then there was another time me and Chip were driving. Now, I'm not driving. Chip is driving. And he's driving a little crazy. He's been drinking. Now, I don't like to let my friends drive and drink, but, you know, I was smoking a joint. I couldn't really say shit to the guy. So, you know, so we get to a red light, and we're stopped at the red light, and the car pulls up next to us. And I'll never forget it. Chip looks at me. He's all drunk, and he's like, Dave, I'm going to race him. And I knew it was a bad idea. I knew it was a bad idea, but I was high. So I tried to explain to him it was a bad idea, but all that came out was, well, nigga, sometimes you got to race. I don't know. So, man, that light turned green, and Chip took off, zigzagging and shit, so no one could pass him. The other car didn't even know we was racing. And then the police seen us and pulled us over. Now, you got to understand, I'm scared as shit. I mean, come on. Car smells like weed. We've been speeding. This man is fucking drunk. Scared. Chip was not scared at all. It was weird. He didn't even turn the radio down. You know, isn't that a little weird? I mean, if you get pulled over, wouldn't you want to turn your radio down? I mean, nobody wants to get your ass beat to a soundtrack and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, Chip had his music blasting. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. I look over and he says, Dave, just relax. Close your butt cheeks. Relax. Let me talk. You want to know what he said? This is almost exactly what he said. I couldn't believe he said, oh, I'm sorry, officer. I didn't know that I couldn't do that. I was fucking shocked. The cop goes, well, now you know. Just get out of here. Just get the fuck out of here. Chip said, okay, I will, sir. Thank you.
Damn.
And he looked at me and goes, what? What's wrong with you, Dave? I didn't know I couldn't do that. He said, yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Because I did know that I couldn't do that. And with that,